Senegal. Most of the countries in Africa have our project. Also, we export to many countries in South Asia.
Okay, let's get around and see how our factory produces the Steelstruck buildings.
Please follow us to see what the Steelstruck fabrication process in the workshop.
Yes, we have 4 workshops. The first is for Steelstruck buildings, and the second is for the painting. The second for the purlins and the bracing, and the fourth is for sandwich panels. Okay, let's introduce the first building first.
In this workshop, we produced most kind of the steel structure for the steel buildings. We produced different kind, such as the H-shaped steel, the box column, the circular column, and the latticed column. Here you can find that there are 2 lines of cutting machine here.
Okay, first we introduce the raw materials first. The raw material for the steel structure is steel plate. All the steel plate comes from the big mills in high quality. We will check the specification of the inspection qualified certificate. The thickness of the steel plate is from 6 millimeters to 30 millimeters. We will check the surface and check the dimension of the steel plates to ensure the steel material can meet the design and the requirement of the Steelstruck buildings. Okay, let's introduce our first process, the automatic cutting machine.
This is our cutting process. We cut steel with the automatic flaming cutting machine. There are 2 lines in this process. The flaming cutting is a common use method to cut the steel. It has high cut speed. The cutting run speed is 2 meters to 6 meters every minute, and the daily cutting capacity can be 100 tons. It is able to cut the thickness 80 millimeters material. The machine has a high cutting precision and fast speed. It is the best cutting equipment for the steel plate now. Machine start cutting now. The workers is adjusted the machine now.
This is the products after cutting. We will check the cutting quality of the edge and repair it. We have 2 lines for the automatic cutting. Next, we will show you the assembly process. The assembly process is to make the 3 cutted steel plates into a section. That's the machine for the assembly. Before assembling, we'll check the cutted steel plates to check the quality. If there is rust or serious rust, we will get removed. This machine is assembly machine. We use spot welding for the assembly. We call it the tack welding. Tack welding is the part of formal welding. The height of the tack welding should not less more than 2/3 of the formal welding. The distance between the spot welding is from about 300 to 500 millimeters. We will ensure the position of the steel plates at the right place. Usually, the distance between the flange and the web plate is 1 millimeter. Okay, next we'll show you the steel component.
So you can see in this area, all the steel parts on the steel component we process here. You can see all the steel parts are stacked neatly, and most of them are marked with the name of the project, so it can be avoid misuse. And for the thin steel part, we use the shearing machine here. That's the green machine is for thin part steel. And for you can see that there the 3 yellow machines. That's the CNC drilling machine. The CNC drilling machine can all holes for the high strength bolt and anchor bolt are complete by the 3 machines. They are high efficiency and accurate position for the holes to make sure the steel frame can be fixed very well by the bolt. For some thick steel parts, we use the here's the machine. The semi-automatic cutting machine, which is very convenient and flexible to use. It can cut many shapes. You can say this is a thick steel plate. It can be shared by the shearing machine. So we use a semi-automatic cutting machine. It's all stacked neatly. This is the plate finished the punching hole.
Okay, next process is automatic cutting, automatic welding machine. We have 5 lines for the automatic welding. The automatic welding is a full welding for the A-section steel beam. All welding workers get the certificate. And this is the automatic welding machine. The distance between the arc point to the end is about 10 millimeters. It will be filled with welders. This machine is automatic welding machine. The welding is a submerged arc welding. We will determine the current and the voltage according to the thickness of the steel plate. The thickness of the welding wire is 4 millimeters. If there is some shortage or lack of welding, should be prepared. The automatic welding is the most important process for the steel structure. Okay, let's see another automatic welding. This is before fully welding. It just finished the assembly.
That is the CNC drilling machine. You can see all the parts have been drilled in the hole, and the hole is accurate and exactly according to the joint. So it will avoid any mistake in established in the building process.
It's also automatic welding machine. This welding is actually finished.
This steel beam is processed for a project of higher. It's a big workshop in Qingdao. Haier is one of the most famous brand in China for the electrical.
We have 2 more automatic welding machines. They can be welded at 2 edges at the same time. From this welding, they can be welded together at the same time. It's the beginning of the welding.
This is a all-in-one machine, from assembly to welding, all combined in one machine.
This machine is in high efficiency. It's double quantity as than last automatic machine. Okay, next process is for stamping process.
In the last process you can say that the steel plate is welded by the machine, and during the process it received a lot of heat, so the flange or the web will be deformed. The web may be bending, so we need this process to strengthen the steel beam. This machine can strengthen the thickness of the steel next to 60 millimeters. After strengthening the steel beams, we will measure the dimension. After strengthening, we will measure dimension and water quality before it moves to the next step.
Okay, next the process is the assembly of the steel components, such as wall panels, roof panel panels, and connecting parts. According to the drawings, all the components will located in the right place of the A-section steel building, the steel frame. We usually use the scribing method to mark the right place for on the A-section steels, and spot welded and located in the right place. The position of the steel components will be in the middle of the A-section edge. The deviation should be less than 0.1 millimeter.
In this area, you can find many welders. This area is for manual welders, and the quality of the product depends on the skills of the workers. Most of our welders are qualified, and they have more than 12 years experience in this field, and the manual welding, we use gas shield weld. The gas is sent automatically to the field.
We mark the place for the steel plates and dot weld to locate the right place for the component.
The welding process evaluation is an important measure to ensure the quality. The weld should be tested by the UT, and they should not be excessive. All the welds have to meet the standard requirements. We use gas shield welding for beam and column welds. The wide diameter is 1.2 millimeters. now is the lunching time for the workers. We have 3 shifts every day.
This is fully welded for the steel components. After the manual welding, the next is a slug removing. During the welding, there may be some steel spatters, welding spatters on the surface. That should be fully removed. The spatters, slugs, and the seams should be cleaned. Next process is sandblasting.
That machine is a sandblast machine. The sandblasting is very important for the quality of the finished steel beams. Here is the sandblast machine. The diameter of the shot is from the 0.6 to 2 millimeters. The sandblasting is used to clean and polish the surface of the steel. The quality of the surface is very important for the next procedure, the painting. After sandblast, the surface of the steel should have no rust and no dirt, so it increases the adhesive of the paint.
Here is the finished sandblasting. You can see the dots on it. It's better for the surface treatment. Okay. Next process is surface treating. There are two kinds of surface treating. One is hot galvanized. The other is painting. The galvanization is in higher cost, but it's very good for rust proofing. If the steel buildings is near to the sea or high rust request, such as chemical plant, warehouse, it's better to use hot galvanization. If it's in a normal building, it can be paint. Okay, next we to the paint workshop. This is painting workshop. There are two kinds of paintings. One is zinc rich epoxy paint, and the other is acrylic anti-rust paint. The zinc rich epoxy paint is better in the rust proof, but the price is a little high. Here is the painting workshop. Usually, the painting is twice primary, twice finish. The red one is the primary painting. After sandblasting in 48 hours, it should be painted. We will control the painting spray distance between the gun nails to the surface and the speed to control the thickness of the painting. There are different colors of the paintings. Usually, the surface painting is in gray. It can be also blue, green, yellow, and other colors, according to the customer request. There is a request on the temperature of the painting. Usually, the temperature from 3 Celsius degree to 38. The machine is for wind blowing to make the surface drier in peak place. we use water-based painting for environmental protection. Here is the material for the painting. We bought it from the large painting oil factory. For the painting workshop, we finished. Now we go to the next workshop for purlins and sandstone panels. Okay, let's go to the next workshop. In this workshop, we will show you the steel deck first. Steel deck. These are steel deck materials. It's zinc-coated steel files. The thickness of the zinc layer is 220 grams per square meter. The thickness is from 0.8 to 1.2 millimeter. The steel deck used for the multi-layer buildings or high-rise buildings. On it, there is a concrete for mezzanine floor. The width of the steel deck is 720 millimeter. It advantaged in the low cost, wide distance, high wave, and large strength. It's usually used very common in the mezzanine floor. It is connected to the steel beam with steel stud top. The thickness of the steel stud is from 8 millimeter to 30 millimeter. The most commonly used is 16 millimeter. Here is the products for the steel deck. Next, we will see the steel purlins.
We have 3 lines for the steel purlins. The steel purlins is to connect the steel column and beams, and it's for fix the wall panel and the roof panel to the column and the beams.
This is the products for steel deck. One machine can produce 2,000 meters per day.
This machine is for purlins. This is the finished products, the purlins, the C purlins. We have 2 kinds of purlins, the C purlins and the Z purlins. You can see there are some holes on purlins. This all are pre-punched. This purlins is cold formed by this kind of machines. The surface of the purlins is galvanized. The thickness of the galvanized is from 80 to 175 gram per square meters.
The Z-section steel product usually used in high wind, heavy wind, or higher snow load place. Okay, this is a C-section purlins.
The purling machines use the PLC control. The length of the purling can be customized, but because we have to shift by the container, so the length is limited by the container size.
This machine is a steel panel machines. It's one layer steel plate. This is the materials for the steel plate. It can be made of a wall panel, roof panel without insulation. We buy the materials from big companies, large steel companies in high quality. This is for the roof. For the wall for the roof, they can be roof or the wall. They are different profile. There are two kinds of roof panels. One is nails exposed panel. It's very good for low cost and easy installation. The other is nails sealed panels. It's good at rainwater proof. The thickness from the steel of the steel plate is from 0.3 to 0.7 millimeter. It is fireproof and in lower cost. That is Skylight panels used on the roof for the light in. The thickness is usually 1.2 millimeter. For the workshops on the roof, you usually use that for the light in to save the energy for the light.
Here in our workshop, we use the light panel.
Skylight panel.
The Skylight panel is commonly used on the roof, and for the wall, we use the windows.
Okay. Next, we will see the flashing. That 4 machines is for flashing.
This is a bending machine. We use these machines to make the flashing. The flashing is for cover the joint part of the wall and the roof. Here you can see the finished products. The flashing is made from a color corrugated steel plate.
The length of the steel flashing is about 4 meters. Usually same color with the wall panel and roof panel.
The thickness of the flashing is the same as the roof panel. It's from the 0.3 to 0.67.
Next, we'll go to see the sandwich panel producing. We have 4 kinds of sandwich panels. One is EPS sandwich panel. The other is rock wool sandwich panel, a fiberglass sandwich panel, and a PU sandwich panel. The EPS sandwich panel is in lower cost and used very common in steel warehouse, polish house, etc. That's a machine for the sandwich panels. This is the material for EPS sandwich panel. The thickness can be 50 millimeter to 150 millimeter. The density is usually from 12 millimeter to 20 millimeter, 20 kilogram per cubic millimeter. That's the materials. We have the other sandwich panels here, the materials. The sandwich panel made of 2-layer color steel plates and insulation layer in the middle. Here is the fiberglass and rock wool materials. They are both fireproof. The rock wool sandwich panel density is high, and it's very good for fireproof and soundproof. This is fiberglass in lighter density. It's also fireproof. Here is the PU sandwich panel. PU sandwich panel is very good at summer installation. It's usually used in the cold room. The thickness can be 50 millimeter to 150 millimeter. It can also used in the polish house. The PU sandwich panel is in higher price. We can produce the sandwich panels in different thickness and different materials according to your need. Okay, we are almost finished all our processes of steel buildings. Now we briefly introduce the steel buildings besides the steel columns and the beams. The columns and beams is the A-section steel, and roof purlin, wall purlin is C-section or Z-section purlins, and with their bracings. Now we introduce the windows and doors. The windows can be sandwich panel doors, rolling doors in different size and materials. And the windows there are many kinds of materials, such as PVC frame windows, aluminum frame windows.
Here we use the sliding door, right?
Yes, here is sliding door. In some places, we also use the rolling door with automatic engine.
Because we received a lot of orders during this year,
yes.
So there are lots of goods and not delivered in time, so we stacked all around here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we for export goods we should load it in shipping containers. Here is the loading area for export goods. We load the steel structure, steel frames in top open shipping containers, and wall panel, roof panels in normal high Q shipping containers.
Here we can say we sometimes use this kind of rack to pack the good. It's easy for loading and unloading.
Steel pallet.
Yeah, steel pallet. They put the goods on the pallet, and when you unload,
yeah, loading in the shipping container is easy to unload the goods, and also save a lot of sea freight because it can be used loaded in normal shipping container, not top open shipping container.
So when you unloading, you just pull out this pallet, and all the goods can be unloaded. It's very convenient.
Okay, when you are interested in our steel buildings, we can design and quote according to your need. Welcome to send us the length, width, height, and local maximum wind speed and snow load. Our engineer will design and quote it and make drawings for your confirmation. When you confirm the drawings, you pay the deposit, and then we start the producing. Then you pay before finish the loading. You pay the balance of payment, and then we load the goods. That's the procedure of the order.
Our sales team welcome any of your inquiry. We would provide you our professional service, and also our engineer will provide you professional suggestion if you have any ideas about the steel structure products.
Yes, don't worry about the installation. We can send our engineers to your place to guide the installation work. It can be smoothly and quickly install the buildings. That's all for our live show.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Yes, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.